You wake up one morning, you check your analytics, and your heart just sinks. The phone's not ringing. The leads have dried up. You type your own business name into Google and poof, you're gone. Your Google business profile has been suspended. For any local business, this is pretty much the nightmare scenario. Okay, let's dive right into this because we're going to walk you through exactly how to get out of this crisis.
First things first, let's just acknowledge that feeling of sheer panic. It is totally valid. As Google product expert Ben Fisher says, that feeling of hopelessness is real. You are not overreacting. Your main pipeline to new customers just got switched off with zero warning.
But before you spiral, just take a deep breath. Here's the single most important thing you need to hear right now. The overwhelming majority of suspended profiles do get reinstated. It's true. There's a clear path back from this, and you can get there. You just have to know the playbook.
So, what does a suspension actually mean for your business? Let's break down what's really happening behind the scenes when Google decides to put your profile on ice. You know, it's really important to understand that not all suspensions are created equal. On one hand, you've got what's called a soft suspension. This is where your profile is just marked as unverified. It's still visible, but you can't manage it. It's annoying for sure, but it's not catastrophic. Then there's the hard suspension. This is the one that makes your stomach drop. This is where your listing is completely wiped from Google Search and Maps. To the outside world, you've essentially vanished. So why does this even happen in the first place? I know it feels personal, it feels totally unfair, but you have to look at it from Google's perspective. For them, suspensions are a form of quality control. They're trying to protect all of us, consumers and other legitimate businesses from spam and from listings that are breaking the rules.
So what kind of stuff triggers this? Well, some of the reasons are pretty obvious, right? Like using a P.O. box or a virtual office address instead of your actual physical location. But others are way less intuitive. For example, adding extra keywords into your business name, like Bob's Plumbing, best plumber in town. You think you're helping your SEO, but to Google, you're waving a giant red flag that says guideline violation. Even something as simple as making too many big edits in a short amount of time can get your account flagged.
And this is absolutely crucial to understand. Google does not care if you have 2,000 five-star reviews. They don't care if you have a massive Google Ads budget. When it comes to a suspension, none of that provides you with a shield. It is purely 100% about whether or not you've broken their guidelines. Nobody gets a free pass. And here's the curveball that a lot of business owners completely miss. The problem might not even be with your profile. It could be one of your users. Yeah. If an agency or even an employee who helps manage your profile gets their own personal Google account restricted, maybe they were making spammy edits on Google Maps or something, it can set off a chain reaction, suspending every single business profile they have access to, including yours.
Okay, enough about what went wrong. Let's shift gears and talk about the solution. This is your step-by-step playbook to getting your business back online where it belongs. Now, the process itself is pretty straightforward, but the key is you have to follow it perfectly. Step 1. Identify the violation. Check your email. Google usually sends a notification that gives you a vague clue. Step 2. Fix the problem. Whatever is wrong with your profile, make it right. Step 3. Submit your case using the official appeal tool and only that tool. And step 4, this is the most important part. You have to provide rock-solid evidence that you are a real, legitimate business operating at your listed address. And when it's time to provide that evidence, you have got to be ready to go. The moment you hit submit on that appeal form, a clock starts ticking. You have just 60 minutes to upload all of your supporting documents. If you miss that 1-hour window, that's it. You don't get another chance.
So what do you need? Gather these documents before you even think about starting the appeal. Get your official business registration, your local business license, maybe a tax certificate, and a utility bill, power, water, phone. And here is the absolute non-negotiable rule. The business name and address on every single one of these documents must perfectly match what is on your Google business profile. No exceptions.
When you get to the part where you plead your case, you only have about 1,000 characters. So use them wisely. Stick to the facts. This isn't the place to complain about how much money you're losing. Trust me, they don't care. Just state the facts, explain the specific changes you made to become compliant, and then upload all your proof in a single, neat zip file to make it easy on them.
All right, so let's say you get reinstated. The goal now is to never have to go through this headache again. So let's talk about prevention. How do you stay off Google's suspension radar for good?
Here are a few pro-level tips. First, don't make a bunch of major edits all at once. If you need to change your hours, your address, and your phone number, space those edits out over a few days. Second, make sure the primary owner on the account is using an email at your business domain, not a generic Gmail address. It's a small but powerful trust signal. And third, this one is critical. Use a completely separate, personal Google account for any edits you suggest on Google Maps. Do not mix your manager account with your user activity account.
So we've spent all this time talking about getting reinstated. But let's just pause for a second and ask a bigger, more strategic question. Is fighting for reinstatement always the best decision for your business?
Take a look at this case study. A business had their main profile, but they also had a second, really niche profile just for gate services, and that second one got suspended. Now, their first instinct was to fight tooth and nail to get it back, but they took a step back and made a strategic choice not to. Why? They realized that the second profile was actually competing with their main profile for the same keywords. The smarter long-term play was to just let it go, and then pour all that energy into optimizing their primary profile to be the one-stop shop for all their services, including gates.
And that really brings us to the final, crucial point. A suspension feels like a complete catastrophe. I get it. But it's also a forced opportunity. It's a chance to stop, to audit your entire digital storefront, and to make sure your profile is 100% compliant, transparent, and built not just to survive, but to thrive in the long run. So the real question isn't just, how do I recover? It's, how can I use this crisis to come back even stronger?